Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back in my old house that I share with my boyfriend and our roommate. Last month I moved out and moved back in with my parents for a little while. We're back and I'm back. That is one thing though, I filmed a few videos at my parents' house and I was just like, why is the lighting here so much better? Why is it so much better? It's just the best. But for today's video, I pulled out all of the products that I own from Essence. Essence is a really affordable brand that you can get at Ulta. I believe you could probably purchase their stuff at some drugstores as well, but I get my Essence products from Ulta. I recently placed an order at Ulta and they were doing 5 times the points on some women's owned brands and Essence was one of them. So I finally finished my full face of Essence collection. For my full face videos, I do like to obviously have as many products for my face as possible from a brand, but that does not mean that I purchase things that are unnecessary to me or that I really just don't need more of in my collection. I do not have a primer from Essence. I just have lots of other primers and I don't use primers as often as I probably should or want to justify picking another one up. So yeah, I just don't have one. Don't have a setting spray. I don't have a face powder. I don't have a concealer from Essence. For me, it's the shade range that's available. Plus the base product that I have from Essence is a foundation and it's pretty full coverage on me. So I was comfortable skipping concealer. This is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I have mine in the shade 170 Neutral Cashmere. Let's see, I think that this is a pretty good shade match for me. Yeah, it's pretty decent. This is something that I purchased a little closer to the summertime, but I think that it still very much works. This foundation from Essence was pretty surprising. It's really gorgeous on the skin. It's very skin-like, but packs a ton of coverage. It just has a beautiful finish as well. I feel like it's a pretty high quality foundation, especially because it's only like $6 or something. Essence is just so affordable. And the shade range for this foundation isn't too bad either. I think it has definitely over 20 shades in the line. Definitely do some research into swatches though before you pick up this foundation if you're interested in it. Because when I originally purchased this foundation, I went based off of the little shades in the pictures available on the website. And the shade was so not right. So I ended up going in stores and finding a little bit of a better shade match, which was this one, 170 Cashmere. And it's pretty perfect. It's pretty spot on. I squirted just a little bit more on the back of my hand because I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender and apply it in just a couple more places where I want a little bit of extra coverage, places that I would usually use a concealer at. But I'm just finding sometimes that having both concealer and foundation on my face can be a little unnecessary. So I'm very comfortable skipping concealer or I'm very comfortable skipping foundation and just using one or the other. Gonna add another little layer to the chin area. This foundation is really gorgeous. They call it a hydrating foundation and I really feel like it has a very beautiful hydrating satin finish to it. And I do notice that this is a pretty long wearing foundation as well. So I think that it really does hit a lot of marks for me. And just the fact that it doesn't feel or look like foundation on the skin is huge for me. Because I am not setting my skin with powder, I do want to just give my foundation a minute to set on the skin by itself. This is their Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel. I have mine in the shade Brownie Brows and I've been talking about this brow product for years on my channel. It's just one of the many great brow gels that you can find at the drugstore and I'm pretty sure this one is like under $3. So this is a great option. They don't have the best shade selection, but I do feel like brownie brows could work for a wide range of brunettes. And then I think that they have 3 other shades, or maybe just 2 other shades, which sometimes is pretty standard for brow products. This formula is just really nice. I also really appreciate the size of the wand on this. It's not too large, but it's definitely not too small either. Sometimes if a wand is a little too small for me, I just kind of hate the way that it just takes so long to shape the brows. But this is a great wand. I think that the formula also has little fibers throughout it, so it does thicken up the look of the brows. It's also not too wet and too dry. That's a huge thing for me with brow gels, is I cannot stand a brow gel that is too wet because I find them to be so messy. And if the brow gel is too dry, it gets very flaky throughout my brows. This is the Make Me Brow by itself through the brows, and I just think it did an amazing job shaping them, adding a bit of color to them, keeping them still looking really natural. So I do like that. I'm going to start working on the eyes, but here is a closer look of the skin and just the brows. I just think that the skin is so beautiful. This is like pretty much what I want and look for in a more full coverage foundation. I do feel like though this might be more of like a medium coverage foundation, but I am definitely more into lighter coverage face products. So for me, this is more of a full coverage foundation, and it just is so pretty. It really looks like skin. I don't have an eye primer from Essence, but I did choose the Milani eyeshadow primer just because it is something from the drugstore. You can purchase it at Ulta. So I'm just going to go in quickly with this eye primer. I have 4 of these little eyeshadow palettes from Essence. I think that these are absolutely adorable. The performance of these really blew my mind. They also have a really great variety in these. There's lots of different options to choose from, and they're only like $4. They also have mirrors. This is a great find, great pickup from Essence, and I highly recommend them. I have the My Rose Will Go On. I unfortunately broke this one so it doesn't clasp like the other ones do, but that is what that color story looks like. There's lots of pinks. I used this one for my Valentine's Day tutorial. But yeah, this one is gorgeous. I also love the variety of textures in all of these. There's mattes and satins and shimmers and metallics. This one is Coral Me Maybe. It looks like this. This one also has some great shades in it. Good variety of mattes and shimmers. This next one is Dancing Green, which was actually the first one that I picked up from Essence, and this one is gorgeous. I think I've only used it a handful of times just because it is green and I usually go for very natural looks. And then this last one that I have is Nothing Compares to Nude, and it just looks like this. I'm going to go in first with the Coral Me Maybe palette, and I'm going to mix this matte shade in with that matte shade for my crease. I really am impressed with the quality of these eyeshadows. I find that the matte shades are very blendable. They're very soft. They go on really nicely, which obviously we all look for and want in a matte color. I kind of wanted to stick a little bit with the Coral Me Maybe palette because I think that oranges and purples look really good together, and this blush shade is like a berry. So I think that that would look really pretty. I'm going to take the deeper matte and start kind of building that up in the crease and a little bit more on the eyelid, or just kind of like outer eyelid. I'm just gonna start building that up a little bit. I'm going to go in now with that shimmery shade. It's like a shimmery peachy shade. Peachy, orangey, corally. And I'm taking it on my finger and I'm just going to press it all over the lid. Oh wow, this is so pretty. I love these. I think that they're a great size. I love that there are 6 shades. You can just create so many different looks with each palette. On an actual brush, I'm going to pick up this shade over here, sort of like a golden shade, and I'm placing that in the middle for some dimension. Yeah, that's super pretty. I'm going to start working from the Dancing Green palette right now because I really like this dark brown, or it's kind of like an olive, honestly. And then I really enjoy this light shimmer. So I'm taking the dark brown and I'm just going to start kind of stamping it into the lash line. And that's pretty much all it's going to be. It's just going to be a little bit of shadow lash line liner. taking a really tiny, dirty blending brush, and I'm picking up that dark shade, and I'm just gonna kind of like wiggle it throughout the lash line, just on the top, just to kind of make it a little bit more smoky. I'm going back in with that original shimmery shade that we used, like that kind of peachy orange. I'm just kind of putting some of that color back in. I want to make sure that it's still there. And then back into the Dancing Green palette, I'm picking up that light shimmery shade on a really tiny eyeshadow brush, and I'm using that as the inner corner highlight. This is the lightest shade probably between the 4 palettes. That is more like a satin than a shimmer, and I love satins for the inner corner. This one just kind of has a little bit of a gold reflex to it, so it still really works for the look. Mascara is another product from Essence that is super duper popular from their line. I think that all of their mascaras are actually really popular. I remember when I worked at Ulta and we would just get like so many Essence mascaras to restock on truck. My personal favorite is the Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara. This is a brand new tube of it. My previous tube was super old, so I decided to get a new one. This one just makes my lashes look so long and just naturally full and really dark and beautiful. Does a great job at keeping the lashes nice and separated. So these are the lashes done with the Volume Stylist Mascara from Essence. I think that my lashes look amazing. I love how they look super long and full and separated and just really defined. Before I go in with the cheek products, I do want to add just a little bit more of the foundation right underneath my eyes. And I'm just pressing it into the skin with my fingers. I feel like the foundation has done a really great job setting on its own without powder, so I'm really happy about that. This is the Sun Club Luminous Bronzing Powder. They have a couple of different bronzing options. They also have some contouring options, but I went ahead and went with this bronzer. And I grabbed the Morphe M527 brush because it's just huge. I have not used this brush in forever for bronzer, but I used to use it all the time. I wanted to kind of bring it back because of how giant the pan is. I'm just picking this bronzer up. I feel like I'm kind of digging quite a bit in there, but I don't know. Oh, powdery. Okay, why'd I do that? Okay, let's see. Oh gosh, it's really, really scented. This is my first time using this, so it's kind of like the first impressions. Well, I love the color. Wow, this bronzer is gorgeous. Hopefully the scent doesn't like irritate me. It's not smelling bad. It's smelling very yummy. Oh my gosh, this bronzer is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Moving on to my blush now. This is the Essence Mosaic Blush in the shade Berry Connection. I've had very good experiences with Essence blushes in the past. I remember especially owning them in high school, and they would be like in my rotation all the time because of the quality of them, and they were just really good. Color payoff was good. Really liked how they looked on my skin tone, and this is gorgeous. I think that State of Kate also said that this was a dupe for like the really popular Dior blush, the one that like Kylie Jenner wears. Essence is so much cheaper than Dior, and they're cruelty free, so that's a beautiful, beautiful color. I feel like I keep just piling it on because I'm loving how the color looks, but I really need to stop. This is another product that I have just raved and raved about on my channel. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, and I have mine in the shade Be My Highlight. It is one of those beautiful satin baked highlights that just really look only like glow on the skin, but it's in a powder form, which I think is a bit easier and more manageable than a liquid highlight that can kind of give you that look. So I'm just going in with a brush right now, and I'm going to honestly put this everywhere. So like brow bone, bridge of the nose, forehead, Cupid's bow. Cannot wait to get my lips on and chin. Here are the two lip liners that I have from Essence. The first one is in the shade Legendary, and then the next one is in the shade Bold. I originally purchased Legendary hoping that it would be a great shade for me, but it looks so light on my lips. It is kind of lighter than my natural lip color, which is not what I look for in a lip liner. So I went ahead and picked up the Bold shade, which is right on top. This one is not quite as nude, but it's way more of like a My Lips But Better kind of shade on me, and it just has a little bit more color to it. So I really enjoy that. Let's go ahead. I like that this is a wooden liner. I really love wooden liners. In my opinion, it's not like quite as good as my LA Girl lip liner. And I feel like for lip liners, you can totally go the more affordable route because you usually end up putting something else over it. I feel like a lip liner is just kind of meant to add some color and definition to the lips. The last product that I have to share from Essence is the Essence Extreme Shine Volume Lip Gloss. This is another product from the Essence line that is just so popular. I remember at Ulta we would get so many lip glosses to restock because these would fly off the shelves, especially the clear one. So many people loved the clear one. I did read some of the reviews on the website and they did recently reformulate these, so I think people were pretty upset that they got reformulated. But yeah, I just used it for the first time yesterday since I just got it, but it was fine for me. By the way, this is in the shade Shadow Rose. It has like a little bit of shimmer, but you don't feel it at all, which I really appreciate. This is such a gorgeous look. I love how all of the colors look together, even though they're all kind of different. Like we have orange on the eyes, we have more of like a berry shade on the cheeks, where I don't know, on me it's kind of looking a little bit more pink. It's still really gorgeous. And then on the lips we just have like a perfect pinky brown nude. Oh, everything looks so pretty. And the fact that my cheek products went on the way that they did, even though I didn't set my skin with powder, I think says a lot for like how smooth they are. I am going to set my skin. I have the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I don't have a setting spray from Essence, but again, Milani is more affordable and you can purchase it right at Ulta. Here's a close-up of how my skin is looking. This is gorgeous. I don't think a single product on my face is even more than like $8, I think. Everything from Essence is so affordable, so cheap, and as you can see, everything just looks so gorgeous. So like, sometimes it is like, why do we spend so much money on makeup when things can look this way? The time right now is 1:22. I'm really honestly just expecting my lip to be completely gone. I'm being honest, I'm expecting my lip to be absolutely gone. I will continue to reapply the gloss though, so you know, I'll have that going for me, but I never ever expect lips to last. The only thing I'm really expecting from this look is my skin to be more oily, especially because I didn't set it with any powder. But I kind of expect the cheek products to keep their intensity. I really hope that they do. And I might have some creasing going on with my eyeshadow, but other than that, I really think that everything's gonna still look very beautiful. And yeah, I'm excited to check in later and see how everything's looking. It's 9:40 right now, so I've had this makeup on for a little over 8 hours, and this is very bright lighting. I wish I could make it, hold on, let me see what this, it's so dark. I have to have the ring light on. But hopefully you can still tell kind of like what the makeup is looking like. I still have very intense cheek products. Like the blush is super intense still. The brows still look really good. I don't have any lip on, obviously. The mascara still looks good, like my lashes look good. Let me pull you in. I really just look so oily, so I feel like picture what this makeup would look like if I wore powder. Like if I was actually wearing powder today. I feel like I really am not even experiencing a whole lot of creasing, especially right over here. I get some lines and I'm kind of not really even seeing that. A little bit I have some creasing, but it's really not even that bad. I do have a little bit of mascara smudging right underneath my eyes, but I didn't even set my under eyes with powder or anything. So the fact that I only have that tiny amount of smudging with unset under eyes is kind of amazing. I'm also really impressed with the eyeshadow, which I know already that the Milani eyeshadow primer is amazing, but sometimes even with eyeshadow primer, some eyeshadows are just not good quality. They still crease. These eyeshadows look really amazing still. The color intensity is still there, so I really don't notice any fading. Even with the cheek products, like the powdered cheek products, I'm really not even noticing any fading. So yeah, I feel like everything is still looking really good. Everything is still pretty much just as intense as it was when I first applied it. I feel like really trying to imagine what this makeup would look like if I had set it with powder. I think I have a little bit of fading on the chin area, but other than that, yeah, everything looks great. That is going to be it from me today. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. Maybe there were some products from Essence that you had your eye on for a while and you just solidified whether you wanted it or not, or you discovered some new things that you might want to add to your collection. Let me know what you all think of Essence as a brand and the products that they're selling, whether you have some favorites from the brand too. I would love to know, especially if there are ones that I didn't talk about in today's video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so, and hopefully I will see you next time.